I'm going to show you good places to find smithing stones and somber smithing stones in Elden Ring. So this is just a general guide. I'll cover, where to get the earlier ones especially, and we'll talk about the later ones, but the later ones are going to be, secret to get. That's kind of just how the game works. Let me go into detail what I mean. So the smithing stones. Over here, smithing stones. This is a newer character, so I only got a few of them on this character. You use these to level up gear, obviously, right? Somber is used for special gear, basically named gear, in order to level those up. And where do you find them? Well, there's a few different ways to get them. If you open up the map, there's a really simple way to get the normal ones in bulk all the way up to like +5, maybe +6 or something, maybe even higher in later level zones if you find a place like this. If you find like tunnels, it'll have some like a name that ends with like tunnel or cave. Well, cave's not always. Usually it's tunnel. Tunnel, or we'll have catacombs, or basically tunnel or catacombs. And if you find one that ends like a name like that, normally those ones you'll go inside of them, and they'll have these like zombie guys just mining away at smithing stones, and you will just grab the smithing stone in front of them, which pisses them off, and then they'll try to kill you. But if you go into these places, you can get a ton of smithing stones for the lower levels, just the normal ones. So like if you go to one, let me show you one right now actually. So for example, I am now in I don't have the map on this character, but the Limgrave tunnels. This is one of the earliest game tunnels that you can find. And when you go in here, you'll find smithing stone, I think level 1? Let's find out. And this is what I'm talking about. See, there's this guy mining at it. He actually won't even notice me, but if I grab it, I get a smithing stone 1. He's really mad now. And you'll go into these tunnels, and there will be these guys just mining smithing stones randomly in different places in the tunnels. Now, some tunnels, okay, this area is not where I want to go. Some tunnels have a ton of smithing stones. Some only have like, 3, 4, 5 of these or whatever. But to get started on a weapon, to get the first smithing stones that you need in bulk, these tunnels and catacombs are going to be your go-to way to do it. You'll just go into each one and grab a bunch of smithing stones and then just leave. So this is one where you can get smithing stone 1, but let me show you when you get a higher level one. So now I'm in a different tunnel. This time I'm in the Celia Crystal tunnel way out in Caelid, and this one also has them. I already killed the guy guarding this one, but it also has them. In this case, it's smithing stone 5. So whenever you find a cave or something like that, and it's called a tunnel or a catacomb, go check it out if you want some smithing stones. That'll get you started on the earlier ones. Also, they'll either have one type, like say 5, or they'll have a mix of 2, 5 and 4, or 3 and 2, or 1 and 2. They'll have 2 different tiers of smithing stones, or that's of only 1. So it just depends on the cave. So if you want to get weapons up, that's how you start off. There are other ways, more long-term ways to get smithing stones, but I'll get to that in just a moment. There's ball bearings, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. The other way that you're going to be getting smithing stones is the way that you probably don't want to be doing it, which is randomly all over the map from like dead body on a ledge somewhere, or a lot of times in these caves, there will be random loot. I think like if I go up here, for example, there'll be some loot across from me. I don't know if it's smithing stone or not, but when you see loot like that inside of caves especially, very frequently it'll be smithing stones. Like a somber one, perfect example, somber smithing stone 4. So the somber ones, thankfully, you only need 1 to level up with a somber smithing stone for each level on your weapon. So if your weapon is +1, you'll need 1 somber stone 2. Randomly because numbers sounded confusing. If your weapon is +5, you'll only need 1 of the somber stone 6. You don't need like 6 of them and 12, whatever. For normal weapons, though, you're going to need a total of 12, because the first upgrade, the normal ones cover more pluses. Like a normal one will take it, like a normal smithing stone 1. Smithing stone 1, let me go to my inventory for visual purposes here. A normal smithing stone 1 will reinforce the gear to +1, then +2, then +3. The first time, getting it to +1, it only uses 2 of these. Then getting it to +2 uses 4. Then getting it to +3 uses 6. So basically, before you're done with smithing stone 1, you need a total of 12 of these. Whereas for these ones, you just need 1 for each thing. So that's how that's going to work. So that'll give you an idea of like quantity. It's easier to just find enough somber smithing stones from the random finds. For the normal smithing stones, you're going to want to go in these caves at least till you get to +5, which will reinforce your armaments to +15. After +5, there might be caves out there that are +6 when you get to the high level zones. I haven't really like dove deep into those zones to look at those, but generally once you get higher, especially like 8 and 9, you're going to have to find them from these bodies in high level zones. Like once you get to like 7, 8, and 9, and then the ancient dragon one, it's only going to come from random loot like this, or chests, or random hidden things in super high level zones. I don't want to show you in case you're watching this lower level. I don't want to spoil it for you, but the higher level zones, that's how it's going to be, and it's tough to get enough. So you only get really good pick like 1 or 2 weapons, unless you get something called ball bearings. So now it's time for me to pivot. Ball bearings, what are these? What are we talking about? So they're these items that you can take over to the Knights of the Round, or a Table of Lost Grace. And there's a trader there you can take the items to that will take these ball bearings from you, and then that trader will have new items for sale. And there are ball bearings in this game that you can find out in the world that will let you buy normal smithing stones. Not the somber ones, but normal smithing stones. The first one that you're going to find is going to be in Rhea Lucaria Crystal Tunnel over here on the map, over by the lake. And this one, you'll actually find it down by the lake. But if you're actually going to look for this, it's at lake level. It's not up on the hill. Don't get confused if you have them. It is down at the lake. It's really hard to find. It's on the east side of the lake along the rock face. Super hard to find this one. It's super hidden. But if you find it, you kill the boss there, and it'll drop a ball bearing for the smithing stones 1 and 2. You can take that to the person. Let me show you the person. So when you go to the Knights of the Round, you look to the east. There's these 3 doors. It's going to be the one on the left. And you're going to go through here and run over to here. And there's this person over here. This is the person that will take ball bearings if you ever find any. There's more than just these ones. There's ball bearings from all sorts of stuff. And this person will offer new stuff whenever you bring them a new ball bearing. So when you bring them the ones I'm talking about, they will then sell you an unlimited amount of smithing stones. So you can get unlimited amounts of items leveled up. Except for the smithing stone 10, which is called an ancient dragon smithing stone. There's a ball bearing for that. I don't know where it's at. So where are the ball bearings? Well, there's some for somber ones, and there's some for normal ones. The normal ones, you're going to find 1 and 2. You can find a ball bearing that lets you buy smithing stone 1 and 2 at Rhea Lucaria Crystal Tunnel. The one that will let you buy smithing stones 3 and 4 is over at the sealed tunnel. And by the way, in the sealed tunnel, there's a hidden rock wall to the right of the Grace. You have to smack it once, it'll disappear, and you can get into a secret area that has it hidden somewhere in it, in a chest or something, I can't remember. But from here, we're going to get to some serious spoilers. I just wanted to warn you, that's why we popped out of the map, because I went to my main character where I have more of the map to show you. And now we're going to take a look at the other ball bearings. I have to show you later game areas. You're going to find the next ones in really late game areas. So the one for smithing stones 5 and 6 is going to be up at Mountaintop of the Giants. Very, very late game. There's this place right where you first come in called Zamor Ruins. There's a place you go downstairs and it's in a chest. And then for the last one, it's going to be the very end of the game over here at the Crumbling Farum or whatever it's called. I forget which one. Was it Dragon Temple Altar, or I think it was Dragon Temple. Wherever you fight 2 bosses called the Godskin Duo. I feel like it was around here somewhere, but I can't remember exactly. You'll know. There's a boss fight, right? It's Godskin Duo. Just check them out, and they are... I don't know if you have a Sword Knight and Flame. It's not so bad fighting with a Sword Knight and Flame, but you get rid of them, and then it's somewhere around there. I don't have the details right now, and the reason I'm not giving details is I'm just giving you the vague where they're at right now, so you guys can find them. But I'm gonna make a guide in the future, like detailed guide on the ball bearings, how to get from a Grace to the exact spots. I don't want to drag this video out to a 20-minute video. It's already gonna be a long video. Okay, but now let's talk about the somber smithing stone bells, ball bearings, whatever they're called. So the first ball bearing for the somber smithing stones is going to be found at the Celia Crystal Tunnel right over here by defeating the boss. The next one is in a place that I've never actually been to on my main. I think it's right here. It's south of of an Erd tree in Atlas Plateau. So it's either this cave right here or maybe south of this one, but I'm thinking it's this cave right here. You'll have to check it out though. And I'm just going, like I said, just generally giving you some where they're at. And the first Church of Marika, there's one over here for the next one up. It's somewhere in a body around there. Not exactly sure, but that's somewhere around there. And then it's the last one somewhere in the north side of Atlas, or Crumbling Farum. I'm not entirely sure where, near a temple or something like that. So maybe around Dragon Temple Rooftop. Not entirely sure. It might be a little while to find it, but just wanted to give you where they're at vaguely. Oh, and there's one more. I forgot about that. That was actually the last one. The one right before it was near the Tempest-facing balcony. Somewhere around there, near there. So you'll have to find it on a body. So like I said, I'll cover this later in an actual guide because it'll take a long time for me to be like, from a Grace, go here for every single one, because there's a lot of different ball bearings. I'm just trying to cover it vaguely, give you guys a scavenger hunt. You can go find them for yourself if you want to, or you can wait till I post a guide at a later date. You can subscribe for that if you want to. The last thing you need to know about here, as far as where to find them, is if you go to this one called Road to the Manor. This is a cool place to check out. If you are still early game and just trying to find the first ones, there's this guy right here. And if you talk to him, he'll actually sell unlimited amounts of the somber smithing stones 1 and 2, and then sell 3 of the somber smithing stones 3 and 4. So if you just started and you don't want to go get the bells and all that, and you're not late enough to get them, but you want to get one of your special armaments up to like level 4, you can just go here and go pick up some of these and level up your armament to level 40, just for special ones like the Sword of Night and Flame and stuff like that. You can really quick go here and level them up to +4 right off the bat without having to go get those ball bearings or go and, you know, find actual smithing stones out in the world. And the last thing I should mention, I just assume everybody knows, but I probably should mention in case you don't know, how do you actually use them? Well, first off, there's this guy right over here at the road to the manor. He's not the guy you're supposed to use, but you could use this guy, strengthen armaments, and then you can use it on a weapon. When you go to a weapon, it tells you what you need for the next one. Like, say, for this thing, I need smithing stone 1, and then over toward the right of it, I need 2 of them, and I currently have 3, so I could level this up. For this one, I need a somber smithing stone 1. I only need 1 of it, and I have 13, so if I level this up, now I need a somber smithing stone 2. I need 1 somber smithing stone 2, and I have 6 of them, so I could level it up again. And, you know, you repeat the process. In this case, somber smithing stone 7 is what I need. I need 1 of them, and I have 4 of them. Well, I actually want to level this up, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. Same for the 8. Same for the 9. And the somber ancient dragon smithing stone. Yeah, sure. And now that thing is max level, and I got an achievement for doing that, actually. The other place you can go, which is where you're supposed to go, is go back to the Knights of the Round Table of Lost Grace. From here, you're going to head east and see all these 3 gates. This time you're going to go to the one over here, and there is a blacksmith guy in here. And this guy is the guy you are supposed to be using to do it. But you could use this guy or the other guy. This guy will let you strengthen armors, but this guy will also let you do Ashes of War duplication, and have different things to say, and you can even sell him stuff. This is the guy you're intended to interact with when you do all this. Another way that you can get smithing stones that I should mention is some enemies out in the world will drop smithing stones, but it's pretty rare, and I've yet to find any enemies that drop higher level smithing stones. I think I've only seen enemies that drop like smithing stone 2 and 3. I don't know if there's ones out there that drop like ancient dragon smithing stones or not. If so, that'd be crazy. Also, I'm going to show you a real endgame area. So I have a video on the somber ancient dragon smithing stones and where to find them in the description of this video somewhere. But just to give you one, is you go to the underground area and then go to the Dynasty Mausoleum midpoint over at the Dynasty Mausoleum, and you go up to right here, and there's an elevator that goes up to the boss, but instead right here there's guys worshiping a statue. You go loot that chest, it'll be a somber ancient dragon smithing stone. And then if you go to the Church of Repose at Mountaintop of the Giants, there's this like mountain right here, a hill right here with a skull in it, giant skull. Get inside the skull's mouth, and there's a normal ancient dragon smithing stone that you could loot. So there's something to get you started on those ones, in case that's specifically what you're looking for. But yeah, any of those higher level ones, unless you get the bell bearing, I mean, you're just gonna have to find them randomly on corpses and stuff. And for that last one, the ancient dragon one, you've just gotta find them. I don't know that there's a bell bearing for it. If there is, I've not heard of it. So yeah, I assume for the ancient dragon ones, you just gotta go loot them. But that's everything that I can think to tell you about smithing stones, how smithing stones work, where all the locations are for them and stuff. This has been your ultimate smithing stone guide. I hope this helped you out. Yeah, now you know how smithing stones work. You know where to find them. You know where to find them in larger numbers early game. You know how to get unlimited in the mid to late game. And I will come back with videos at a later date for in-depth guides on how to get to each of those locations I mentioned for the bell bearings. So definitely consider subscribing for that. I'll go into more detail, like exactly how to get to them if you can't find them, you know, from a grace and walk there for each one. It'll, you know, take a while. So yeah, this has been your ultimate smithing guide. Hope it helped, guys. Now you know where to find smithing stones, how to use smithing stones, and where to find the smithing stone bell bearings in Elden Ring.